Palm Sunday is this day in the story of the Passion of Jesus that chronicles the last few days of his life where Jesus rides into Jerusalem. He's being celebrated by the people. He's riding into, ultimately, to his crucifixion. It's a day that we celebrate in the life of the church. Carlos, as you think about Palm Sunday, what is it that you think about? What comes to mind for you?
Well, the first thing is that triumphant entry that everybody is expecting. You know, there's been this buzz around the town, but it's not what they expected. It was a little bit different than what everybody had in their mind.
Yep. There's this understanding that Jesus is the Messiah, the Savior of the world, yet he rides into Jerusalem on a donkey, right? Like this king of kings, doesn't ride in with this massive army on this big, beautiful horse, but he rides in, he fulfills the prophecy, he rides in on a donkey. Why do you think he did that?
I think he wants to show his true purpose and humility, and that sometimes the expectations that we may have about how God's going to do things are actually very different. He's always working for the best outcome, whether we see it or not at that moment.
Can you imagine, like, you ride into Jerusalem, the people are cheering for you. Hosanna, Hosanna, blessed be the name of the Lord. But yet it's not days later that probably those same people were yelling, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him.
Well, I think we see it clearly, Jesus weeping over the city, understanding that everybody that's cheering him on is somebody that's going to come overthrow the government. Understanding that everybody that's cheering him on is, but he was coming, understanding that everybody that's cheering him on is free them from sin. Understanding that they didn't see that at that moment.
Even along those same lines of what you're saying, that there's often this expectation that Jesus becomes a part of our life. He comes into our life, right? He enters Jerusalem, he enters our lives.
We do now.
And all of the problems are going to go away, and all of the things are going to be made better. And when we just see all through Scripture, right, that that's just not the reality. That when we just Jesus doesn't take away all of our problems. Jesus doesn't. What he does is he takes away all of our sin, and we still have to live with often the consequences of those sins, but even just the consequences of a broken world. And take away all of our problems. I think on this Palm Sunday, one of the things that I want to be reminded of is, I think on this Palm the way Jesus is working in my life, that he's working towards salvation, towards sanctification, towards growing us to look more like him. The way Jesus is working in sanctification, towards growing us to look